A small home starts to feel expensive when every object has a reason to be there. The eye knows where to rest, the light feels soft, the furniture has breathing space, and the styling looks edited, not crowded. It is not because the room has more furniture. It is not because every corner is filled with decoration. And it is not because the space is large. In this video, we are going to break down 7 design decisions that make a small room feel refined. Before we look at the details, I want to be clear about the process. This is not just a collection of beautiful rooms. I am using this interior as visual references, then breaking them down like design diagnosis. I look at where the eye lands first. I look at how the light moves around the room. I look at the size of the furniture, the empty space around it, the warmth of the color, and the contrast between materials. The goal is not to copy the room exactly. The goal is to understand why the room works so that we can use the same principle in a real small home. Give the eye one clear place to rest. A small room can look expensive when it has visual hierarchy. That means not everything is asking for attention at the same time. In this room, the focal point is not only one object. It is the relationship between the sofa line, the curtain height, the wall art, and the warm light source. Together, they guide the eye to one calm area. This is important because a small room can feel messy very quickly. When every shelf, every table, and every corner is trying to be the star, the room feels busy. But when the room has one visual main story, the space feels intentional. The eye lands, pauses, and understands the room. Choose furniture with the right scale. In a small home, the furniture does not need to be tiny, but it needs to look proportional enough to the room. Notice how a refined room usually gives furniture enough breathing space. The sofa is not fighting the wall, the rug is not too small, the coffee table is not blocking the movement. There is space for the eye and also space for the body. This is one of the quiet reasons a room feels more expensive. Luxury is not always about adding more. Sometimes it's about leaving enough room around the important pieces. If the furniture is too large, the room feels squeezed. If it's too small, the room feels unfinished. The right scale makes the space feel calm and confident. Use lighting layers. A room looks flat when it only has one light source. It starts to feel designed when the light has layers. There is ambient light, which gives the room its general brightness. There is task light, which helps with reading, working, or using a table. And there is accent light, which creates mood and highlights the most beautiful parts of the space. In small home, lighting is especially powerful. A warm lamp in the right corner can make the room feel deeper. A soft glow on the wall can make the room feel calmer. A darker corner can actually make the room feel more intimate. Good lighting does not shout. It quietly tells the eye where to look. Create contrast between materials. A refined room usually does not rely on one texture. It mixes soft and hard, warm and cool, matte and slightly reflective. For example, a soft sofa becomes more interesting beside a wooden table. A smooth wall feels richer when it's paired with woven fabric. A small touch of brass, black metal, or stone can make a simple furniture look more complete. This is why material contrast matters. It gives depth to a small room without adding clutter. Instead of filling the space with many decorative objects, we can use fewer materials in a more thoughtful way. The room feels rich because the surfaces are having a quiet conversation with each other. Respect negative space. Empty space is not unfinished space. In refined interiors, empty space is doing important work. It gives value to the objects around it. It allows the eye to rest. It makes the sofa, the lamp, the table, or the artwork feel more important. This is very useful in a small home. When we try to decorate every empty wall and every empty corner, the room can feel smaller. But when we leave some areas quiet, the space feels more open and more intentional. Negative space is not about having less personality. It is about giving your best pieces enough room to be seen. Control the color temperature. The same room can feel expensive or artificial, depending on the temperature of the image. If the colors are too cold, the room can feel digital, flat, or unfinished. If the colors are too saturated, the room can feel less calm. But when a palette stays warm, soft, and controlled, the room begins to feel more refined. A small home often looks more elegant with warm ivory, stone beige, walnut brown, muted brass, and soft black. These colors do not compete with each other. They support the same atmosphere. Color temperature is not just a filter. It changes how the viewer feels inside the room. Use styling restraints. The most refined rooms are not empty, they are edited. Look at the surfaces in a well-designed room. The coffee table does not need 10 small objects. A shelf does not need to show every item you own. A corner does not need a plant, a basket, a lamp, a frame, and a vase all at the same time. Instead, refined styling often uses fewer objects, but with stronger shapes. It repeats materials, it chooses one focal story, it leaves space between items. This kind of restraint makes the room feels more mature. It also makes the viewer believe that every piece was chosen, not just placed there. Now, if I wanted to make this room feel even more refined, I would not start by adding more decoration. I would start with three small decisions. First, I would make their focal point clearer. The viewer should know where to look in the first 3 seconds. Second, I would check the scale of the main furniture. The sofa, the rug, and the table should feel connected, but not crowded. Third, I would control the warmth of the room. I would keep the palette calm, reduce harsh contrast, and let the lighting create the mood. These changes are small, but they change the feeling of the entire space. That is the power of design decisions. They make a room feel intentional before the viewer even knows why. So, here is the refined small home formula. Give the eye one focal point. Choose furniture with the right scale. Use lighting in layers. Mix material with contrast. Protect your negative space. Keep the color temperature warm and controlled. And style with restraint. None of these decisions require a large house, and none of them require the room to be filled with expensive things. What they require is intention. When a small room has intention, it feels calmer. It feels more complete. The goal is not to make a small home look expensive just for the camera. The real goal is to make every design decisions feel intentional. When the scale is right, the light is soft, the palette is calm, and the styling is edited, a small room can feel thoughtful, quiet, and refined. And that is what makes a home feel beautiful, even before we talk about size or price.